Everyone, it's John Orlando from the PVD Cast, and I wanted to take a few moments of your time to let you know where you can find the PVD Cast. The online home of yours truly, PVDcast.com, is a great place to go, but it's also available through all the major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, etc. There's also live broadcasts of the PVD Cast every single week. Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern through the Facebook page of the PVD Cast, and Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. through the Scene Snobs Facebook page. And no matter how you listen, please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. And with that, I will chat at each and every one of you later.
Drinking! We're drinking. Cheers. One more. You know that song? Pretty good for the oil free. Only variation. Fit your lifestyle.
Happy Valentine's.
Hey everybody, it's CJ Graham, Jason Voorhees. That's right, Friday the 13th, part 6. And you're listening to the scenesnobs.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with the Three Geeks Podcast. Today, I am honored to welcome Ernie O'Donnell onto the show. Ernie, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Little exhausted after a few months of work, but I'm doing well.
Awesome. So you have the 100 Acres of Hell in the background.
Oh, yeah. That's the horror movie I star and produced with my buddy Jason Kerner and Ed McKeever and Gene Snitsky. Yep. So
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, that process started in 2015, I believe. It took us a while to get it going, to get it made. We finally got over all those independent hurdles, as everybody knows how tough it is to get a movie made. We called in tons of favors, and we got her done. We filmed her in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and it actually, a lot of the comments we got was people were curious. They were like, well, how much money did you spend? And we don't like to throw that number around. It's really not really for anybody to know. I mean, it doesn't matter what you spend on a movie as long as it looks good.
Yeah.
But a lot of comments we got was, you guys must have spent $1 million. And we spent no way near that. Not even in that realm. And it's all because of the great team we had around us and a lot of favors. I mean, geez, we had a helicopter flying in the scene with Gene Snitsky and aerial views and all that kind of stuff. People were so great in Pennsylvania and New Jersey to give us their location and lands for nothing, just to be a part of the film. I mean, it's kind of cool when you say, hey, I want to make a horror movie in your backyard or in your woods or at your store. A lot of people surprisingly said yes. You know, it was pretty cool. But I enjoyed the shit out of it. It was the first time I ever really got to produce a full-length feature, and that's where I kind of got my feet wet a little bit. I did a little bit of the co-directing on a couple scenes, not a lot, but just some of the second unit stuff. But I really dug the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. I mean, I've been in front of the camera with Kevin and some other people for years, but it's surprisingly how much knowledge you absorb without even knowing it, like being on the set, with Kevin and doing tons and tons of years of background. I mean, I did 30 films just in background. So when people say to me, oh, background sucks, and they complain, and the difference is that's a teaching platform for people. I mean, you need to sit there and absorb and listen and watch whatever you can, because surprisingly, it comes in handy if you decide to make your own feature or TV show or any kind of production like that. All that stuff is invaluable. I mean, school teaches you a lot, but on the ground training is the best way to go. And 100 Acres of Hell really kicked the shit out of all of us when it came to making a film, because it was tough, but we persevered, and it's out now on over 20 platforms, and it's doing really well. Right now, it's breaking over into Europe and China and stuff slowly. The pandemic has been put the brakes on a little bit for the overseas stuff, but it's taken off. We're really proud of it. It's got a lot of great reviews, and we've won multiple awards through a bunch of festivals. So it's a great project. We're very proud of it.
Do you find working with a smaller budget that you get more creative with, figuring out how to make certain things work? Because it's easy to say, let's just CGI this and move on. But do you find that it's more creative for you to have budget?
Not having the budget, yes, makes you have to be creative and step out of the box. Now, in what I do, I'm a carpenter. I've been a carpenter for 30 years. So I think out of the box as it is when I'm building things, and I do a lot of displays I've done through Planet Hollywood and Motown, and obviously at the Secret Stash. So you got to get creative. So in the independent film realm, when you don't have a lot of money, you need to figure out how to make something with nothing, and that's where the art comes in and the creativity. And if you have that $1 million or $2 million or $10 million budget, $100 million, I mean, Avengers, you can do anything you want. I mean, there's no limit. Yeah. So I mean, as great as those films are, they have it, a little easier than the independent people, because those are the ones that really got to use their brains and figure out how to make a car blow up without it really blowing up, or kill somebody with blood and try to make it practical opposed to digital. I'm not a big fan of digital like effects as far as when it comes to a horror movie. Other stuff and like Avengers and things like that I can deal with, but when it comes to a horror movie, I'm old school, man. I like the practical effects, and I'm all about independent, but I will not turn down a big, huge blockbuster if it ever comes my way.
I have a quick question, being the wrestling nerd here in this setup.
Oh, I love wrestling.
All right. How was it working with Gene Snitsky?
Painful.
He doesn't know his own strength on set. Is that what you're saying?
God, no. That he is a big man. I mean, I've had the opportunity. I'm an old school wrestling fan. I'm a child of the 70s, the 80s, a little bit of the early 90s, and then I kind of got away from it once. I'm going to say once The Rock and Stone Cold kind of exited. Mm-hmm. I was pretty much done, because then it got too soap opera, I don't know. It was just too much for me. Only time I came back was when I heard when Flair was doing something, and when Hogan came back for a little bit. Then I kind of watched a little bit, but other than that, I'm an old school kind of guy. But as far as Gene on set, a trooper as far as really trying to get things done proper as far as the fight scenes go. And he was always asking questions about, am I doing a good job as far as acting and things like that? Because he wasn't too sure. And he would come to me. And to me, it felt kind of weird, because, I consider myself an okay actor. I don't, I'm no Dustin Hoffman or anything like that. But I told him, I didn't want to critique him too much to make him nervous, just to be him, because he was doing really well. But as far as experiencing certain strengths of Gene's, I would say there was 2 instances. He was very anytime he'd meet you on set, he would grab you, but he'd do that handshake where he grabs your forearm and he yanks you towards you and grabs you and hugs you. Now, the first time he did that to me, he dislocated my shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I was like, and I just had it reset a couple of weeks ago because it popped out at work, and I had it reset. And then we went filming a few weeks later, and he grabbed me and he pulled me, and it just went pop. And I was like, "You motherfucker!" I was like, "God!" He goes, "What, man? What's up, dude? What's up, Briz?" And I was like, "You just pulled my shoulder out, man." So that whole day of shooting was just painful. That was one. The second one was we were filming a scene. I don't want to give it away if people haven't seen it, but I was in a position on a table, kind of in a slaughter room. And before the take, Gene walks up to me because he comes into the room and sees me there. So before we do the take, he walks in and looks like, "Hey, what's up, Ern?" And just flicks me. But he flicks me in the nut. And then all the director goes, "Action." And I was in so much pain. I just rolled off the table, hit the ground, and I was cursing this motherfucker out. I said, "Gene, what?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you so hard. I was only messing around." I was out for at least 15 minutes. I don't know if when I was taught by my old gym teacher, Mr. Vinny Whitehead, that when you get hit in the nut, you gotta sit on your ass and I tried everything. I tried everything to get rid of that pain, man. But those are the 2 times that he got me. But he is a big, strong sumbitch. And I don't know if you guys saw the movie, but that fight scene at the end between him and the killer, Jeb Tucker, that's legit. That's all. There's nothing fake there. There's no the trees that he gets hit with, the branches, they were never sawn in half. They were never, they were real. He hit them and he broke it on them. The cars they flipped onto, all real. Everything you see, the ground, the hits, we didn't use anything fake, man. Those 2 guys almost killed themselves. And that was done at like 2:00 in the morning in the freezing mountains of Pennsylvania. But I give hats out to wrestlers, dude. People used to tell me, "Oh, it's fake. They're not athletes. What are they?" Give me a break. These guys are some of the greatest stuntmen in the world, and they're athletes beyond. Even if I don't follow, like I said, I don't follow it that much anymore. But back in the day, I was a diehard, and you had to fight me to tell me that it was fake. Until Hogan came out on the Tonight Show. What was it? Legally, I think they had to announce it was sports entertainment, right?
Yes, because Vince wanted to get out of paying taxes in New Jersey.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Loopholes, man, loopholes.
But those moves work. If you're a fan, you must have tried them, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
The figure 4 leg lock is painful as hell. The camel clutch, all that stuff. That stuff works. I used to do it with my friends and my brothers when we were kids, man. It was painful, but it was fun, Never did the Superfly. I couldn't jump off that one. I stayed away from the Superfly. But the camel clutch and what was the one? That was the Iron Sheik, right?
Correct. Yes.
They used to do that.
Yes.
Oh, the Cobra clutch was Slaughter, wasn't it?
Slaughter, yeah.
Right. And what was the other one we used to do? Oh, the chicken wing. Remember the chicken wing with Bob Backlund?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, buddy.
You didn't break out the Iron Claw? That was my favorite.
Well, Blackjack Mulligan.
Yeah. There you go.
Talking the original Claw, I've got Blackjack Mulligan. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I got you. I love it.
Well, I have to ask something similar, since we're talking a little bit about wrestling, and they always say in wrestling, like your characters kind of you just amped up some. So I have to ask, Is Rick Derris really part of Ernie, or is that just you just acting as best you can, or is there a little bit of Rick Derris in Ernie?
Oh shit. There is. I mean, listen. We've had this discussion before, me and Kev, about Rick Derris. Now, as most of the View Askew fans, the diehards know, I was originally Dante. And then, me and Kev had our thing, and then that got to Brian O'Halloran, and then he gave me Rick Derris, which everything works out the way it does, and I'm happy and pleased the way it did. But when I read the character originally, I was like, Kev, it seems a little, reminiscent of some of the stuff that I used to do when I was younger. and he goes, no, man, no. And I was like, dude, but I was the Mac, to him, I was like the Mac daddy. I had the girls. I always had a girlfriend. I was the first one to get laid. I was this, I was that. And I was the first one to drive and kind of things like that. So I think like I said, we've had this argument, but subconsciously, come on, it's too close. It's too close to some of the stuff I was doing. I was not the man whore, I should say, that Derris was. I was very respectful of women, and I only had one girlfriend at a time and never cheated. That was my big thing. I would never cheat on a woman, even though they cheated on me. You can't believe that shit, but
word.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you something funny. So I'm taking this. I'm such. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I'm such a nice guy. Right after during high school, when I was between girlfriends, there was this great looking girl. I can't remember her name, and I apologize, but a beautiful girl. She was she was a model and stuff. She did some modeling, and she was still going to high school. And she was at a party, and we were partying. And I don't drink. So I drank for like a month in high school, and that was it. So she was kind of messed up. So I said, hey man, she couldn't get a ride home. I said, I'll take you home. And I had a girlfriend at the time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did have a girlfriend at the time. So she asked me, I told her I'll take her home. I drove her home. I pull up in front of her house, and she says to me, you want to hang out? And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, why don't you come in? My parents aren't here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on in the house. I was like, I can't do that. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, well, don't you want to go, I know what she was implying, you know what I mean? And I was like, I can't do that. I said, I got a girlfriend. She goes, so? She goes, how's she going to find out? And I was like, that's not me. I'm not that guy. I said, you're a beautiful girl. You're very nice. I said, I want to do you a favor, but I can't go that way. She goes, really? She was so insulted and surprised. Really? Yeah, she was kind of insulted, but then surprised that a guy would actually be like that. And, because most guys are man whores, let's admit it, fellas. I mean, they are, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I turned her down. So down the road, I don't know if it's months or years, somehow Kevin hooks up with her. And I regretted it because like months later also, my girlfriend cheated on me with some banana, and I didn't know it. So I'm like, I missed this opportunity. Because, that's bullshit. That's what happens if you be a nice guy and come on. But it's all good fun. It's all good fun. But I love the Derris character, and I appreciate that Kev runs that Derris thread through a lot of the films that he does, and even the comic books, he runs it through there too. So it's really cool.
I gotta say, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit and we'll go back. But the original cast of Clerks in Reboot, I thought that cameo was the best part of that movie. Because it was all in black and white for the panel, but everything else surrounding it was in color, and I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, well, listen. So that's another story. I can tell it now, I guess. I won't give you the complete behind the, because I have a trust issue with Kev, so I won't let everything go. But So he contacted me and said, "Hey, you want to come down to New Orleans and be part of Reboot?" And I was like, "Oh, of course. I'm always like, when he calls, whatever you need. I don't even ask what it is, what part. He's like, so I said, well, just send me the paperwork that I got to sign, because you have to sign, releases, all this kind of nonsense." And he goes, "Oh, no, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff yet." I said, "Well, just send me the script then and let me know what I'm doing." He goes, "Oh, you don't need that." I was like, excuse me. I was like, well, what do you mean I don't need the script? Am I saying something? And he goes, "No, because we don't have it in the budget. You can't say anything." And I was like, "What? You're going to bring me down to New Orleans and I ain't going to say shit?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, it's a great part, man. You'll love it. I'm telling you, we're doing this cool thing. Everybody's going to love it in the film." He's like, and then he proceeded to tell me what it was. He goes, "We're going to do this scene. It's going to be in color, and then we're going to transform into black and white." He's like, "It's costing us a fortune to do it, so that's why we can't pay you to say anything, because the effect that they're doing costs a lot of money." And I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, it's a free, it's a free trip to New Orleans, room and board, all, the food, it all comes, how it works. You get everything, the craft services and the per diems and stuff. So I was like, and plus I was getting to go down with Marilyn and Scott Schiaffo and Cousin Johnny, who played, I don't know if you know who Cousin Johnny is. He played, Cousin Johnny's the one that opens up, not the opening, with the Clerks. When Clerks, the guy with the orange, trying to remember, he wears the orange vest.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's also the original guy in the long version of Clerks, where Dante gets killed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Johnny is the guy that comes in and kills him.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though they cut that scene out because Miramax didn't want it. That's Cousin Johnny, and Johnny's been in a bunch of other movies too with Kevin. He's been in Jersey Girl and a bunch of other ones. But he's a great dude. I've known him since childhood with Kevin too. So he was there, and then of course Brian O'Halloran was there. Walt came down, Ming, Mike. I mean, it was just great to hang out with everybody, And I love being on set with Kevin, laughing it up and being kind of an idiot a little bit, and not to mention, I got to hang out, as I always do when she's around, is Kevin's mom, Grace. She was there, and Dawn and Virginia. So it was a great, great trip. And the scene just came out brilliant. I love it. I love the way they did it,
Yeah. I'm going to go back. For a minute, Ernie, to the original pitch for Clerks. How did Kevin Smith step to you and say, "This is what we're going to do"? Like, was it just off the cuff? I can imagine it's not like a real, everybody sit down, this is what I'm going to do. Like, it's just, hey, we're doing it.
Well, it's different for me.
Okay.
With everybody else, like with Mosier and Vinny and, Brian and all those kind of guys, it's a totally different story. Mine originates a lot sooner. So obviously, like I said, as the true fans know, me and Kevin grew up together. We've known each other since the 5th grade. We've always bonded with comedy, Saturday Night Live. We did sketches together. We made our own comedy troupe called Scamods. Always wanted to be some sort of movie star, something. We wanted to be in Hollywood. I mean, that was our goal. So we get through high school. And towards the end of high school, as we're doing our plays and our original comedy sketches, things like that, he says he's going to go to film school. He goes to film school, and he's telling me about the script that he's doing, and he'll send it to me. And I said, okay. And he goes, well, I wrote the script with you in mind as the lead. And that lead was Dante. So he sent it to me, and I read it. And I was honest with him. I was like, Kev, well, as you know, if you know Kevin's writing, he's very wordy. Mm-hmm. And at that time, in 94 or 93, when the script, I'd probably say it was written in probably more like 92. But when he presented it to me, I was like, dude, nobody knows this vocabulary. I mean, it's kind of, I get it. He's a smart son of a bitch, and he writes like, anybody. I mean, he's one of the best writers I've ever, he's just so good, and his memory is great, and his wording is unbelievable. And I was like, dude, this is the average Joe doesn't know what the fuck that word means. And he goes, and then not to mention, I said, you got the F-bomb, the cock, the this, the that, all these words, I was like, your mother's a full-blown Catholic. She's going to kill you. I mean, there's no way this is going to fly, and it's like an X rating. And I was just being honest at that moment. Even though the script was brilliant, I'm thinking to myself, how the hell is this going to get made and get past the rating systems if it goes somewhere, And he did have that problem eventually with the rating system, So that kind of, at that moment, I think me being honest with him, I think it took him back a little bit. He was like, well, really? I mean, but he got over that, and then we just moved forward, and then we went to the audition process, and listen, I never even auditioned, never intended to audition, but I did visit the auditions, and I brought Jeff Anderson with me. That's how Jeff pretty much got into the movie, because Kev had said something to me one day about, hey, you think Jeff would want to be in the movie? Because Jeff was this funny dude in high school, man. I mean, funny. So I was able to convince him to come after Kevin was trying to get him to come too. And it just, it's something that it took me a long time, if I'm going to be honest, a long time to get past, because I always think, well, what if I did play Dante? Or how different would it be? It would be totally different, because I would have played him a lot different than Brian played him. And I love the way Brian played him, and I understand now why Kevin took him. But it took me a long time to get past that, because we were young, and you were like, oh, you wrote this script for me, so why are you not giving me the role now? But now once he saw Brian's audition, he's like, holy shit, this is really how the character should be. Because he knew what I could do, even though he never really saw what I would do with the character. He already saw it in Brian at that point. And I've had discussions with Brian over the we're cool as hell. We're good friends. I was just with him yesterday doing a little bit thing, and he's part of a sitcom that I'm doing right now with my buddy Troy. So I mean, me and him we're fine. And I never had any ill wills toward Brian. It was just something personal me and Kevin had to get through. And like true friends do, we've been friends for over 40 years. We're like brothers. So it was just a bump in the road. We got through it. And like I said before, everything happens for a reason. I'm still here. I'm still doing things with Kev. We're still great friends. We have the utmost respect for each other. And as you can see, he just, he gave me one of his most prized possessions, which totally meant so much to me. He gave me the reins and said, here, build me a new secret stash. He's like, you do what you want. I know what you can do. I trust you. Go build me something great. And last night I did a video walkthrough with him. I've been sending him photos and pictures and stuff. And I don't know if you guys have seen some of the Secret Stash, Project Stash, we're calling it, on his YouTube channel that we've been doing for the last couple of months. But last night we did the final walkthrough, and I mean, it was good to hear the simple words of just thank you. Just thank you for giving me what I wanted, or more than what I wanted. My expectations were not this high, and you just blew. He's like, you blew it out. And I'm not looking to listen. I'm not, if my friends would tell you, I'm not the guy that looks for the pat on the back, or, I'm very humble when it comes to what I do. I don't think I'm great at anything. It's people that they tell you or appreciate you. And that's all I want is the appreciation, and to have it from him, from something that's so dear to him as the Secret Stash, it really meant a lot. And I think the fans are going to just go nuts when they start going into the store, because it's like a museum. I mean, it's well displayed. You can really appreciate not just the comics that are there and the sculptures and the statues, but the history and the movie memorabilia that is in this store is just displayed in a way where you can really look at it. Where before in the old stash, as great as that was, and as I want to say, the old stash had, it was like a comfort zone. It was tight. It was small. Everything was kind of, bunched in there, where now it's kind of like bigger and open. So you can really appreciate like the Brody sign, the movie sign. You can appreciate the Buddy Christ is just unreal. We built a great shrine for the Buddy Christ. And like I said before, the tusk is at ground level behind the bars, where you can actually almost get up and kiss them if you really want.
There you go, Jason.
Yeah. So it's a great thing, and I know the fans are going to respect the stash because of all the hard work that was put into it and all the memories that are there. It's just, I'm blown away by the fan base. It's just crazy to me. Mm-hmm. They are. They just keep coming back. Every time we do something, they just keep coming. And now we're going to have our big grand opening in March. I believe we're looking at March 13th and 14th that weekend. We're going to have a grand opening. Now, of course, we can't have the grand opening that we'd really like to have.
Sure.
Because of what's going on. I mean, originally we wanted to close the streets down. We wanted to do a big whole event. We wanted to have food trucks coming in, like a movies food truck, and do all this cool stuff. But it's tough. It really is. So hopefully we're going to have a great grand opening. I will say that because Kevin and Jay are going to be there, and we always do it, in a way that the fans love it. But then there's, looking forward, we got the 1 year anniversary. If all this stuff is behind us, the 1 year anniversary, I mean, who knows what we're going to do then? It just goes and goes, man. It's amazing that the whole View Askew universe, the Clerks, everything to do with Kev. It baffles me that it's been going on for what now, 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to have guys like you supporting it and liking all the stuff that we do is, I know I'm appreciative, dude. I really am. And that you also follow our other stuff too. I mean, you mentioned 100 acres. Where is it? Yep, there it is. You mentioned 100 acres of hell, which is great. I mean, that's just everything branches off from where we come from. And I started with Kev, and my legacy goes on with him still being a part of it, and it's all because of Clerks. So
I'm taking a long weekend from work, and I've been thinking about coming down to the Secret Stash. I'm glad you said the grand opening is the 12th and 13th because that's the weekend I scheduled off.
13th and 14th. I think the 12th is Friday.
Yep,
and
that's the weekend I'm off.
Yeah, the 13th is Saturday and Sunday. From what Kev tells me, it looks, as of right now, I mean, who knows what the world's doing, but as of right now, he's planning on going to Florida, as everybody knows, to do the movies in Orlando, the pop-up movies in Orlando. And then he's going to try to jump on a plane and come down here. I think he may have made the announcement on Twitter already and Facebook. Unless, the world shuts down again, the 13th and 14th of March, the Stash is having a grand opening with Kevin there, Jason there. Obviously, Brian will be there. We'll probably have, myself, Shiafo, and whoever else wants to come by, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I think my daughter and I are going to be in attendance for that because, like I said, I took the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So a road trip from Ohio to Jersey, I can do that.
Oh, yeah. You got to love it. And then, you get to go into the Tell 'em Steve Dave general store, too, which we got. They got their own spot now, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you'd like to talk about real quick, Ernie? I know we've covered quite a bit in the time that we've been chatting, but
I got a couple projects out. I got a comedy feature that I did that's on Amazon right now called Gone for the Weekend, which is kind of like a bachelor party-esque type of feature. And then I got Kilroy was here. I got Kilroy was here with Kevin that I did. That's his next horror trilogy. He's telling me that's supposed to come out in the next couple months. I mean, that was done with the Ringling School down in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Orlando? No, not Orlando. I'm sorry, Sarasota.
I think I was gonna say yeah,
Sarasota. I got a copy of that. He sent me a copy of it. I watched it. And, I mean, I just love all that horror stuff. So so I got that, and then I got my own short called The Seventh Day that I'm going to be releasing which I had in the film festival circuit for a while. So I'm releasing that in the next couple months. And then currently I'm working on that sitcom I was talking about with my buddy Troy Burbank called On Our Own. And I brought in Brian O'Halloran for that to play a special part that we wrote for him. So, I mean, those are pretty much the things that are on the horizon. And we're all still waiting for Shooting Clerks to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Shooting Clerks is another thing that all the fans are waiting to come out. And I mean, I've got a nice little juicy part in that, which is pretty cool.
That's
cool.
awesome. I gotta ask you about two that are in pre-production: Dog and the Dead Guy and Zombie Death Camp. Those titles are amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. So, Dog and the Dead Guy is from the guys who are doing Shooting Clerks.
Okay.
They approached me about it if I would do a recurring role in that, like I did in Shooting Clerks, because they love that character so much that I guess I want to say I kind of created. So I told them yes. As of right now, I don't know when they're gonna get on that. I still think they're still trying to get Shooting Clerks out of the way. So that's that. And as far as Zombie Death Camp, is that the other one you were talking about? Yeah. So Zombie Death Camp was a movie that we were working on with Jason Kerner and Ed McKeever through that we did 100 Acres of Hell with. But I took the script and rewrote it and turned it into something else. And then I made the decision, and I talked to Jason about it. And I said, I hate to say I made the decision, but I approached him and said, I'm not really sure if we should go the route of the zombie again, or not again, but to go to zombie, because to me, it's getting, overplayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's zombie stuff everywhere. I mean, I see a couple zombie things coming out now. I mean, the only thing I'm really looking forward to be honest, is World War Z 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking forward to that. The Train Busan was really good.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yes.
Great. I thought that was great. But I mean, I was a huge Walking Dead fan.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, you've seen all the comments through the last couple of years. It's just, they've been stringing you along with. They have good episodes. I don't know. It's tough. So the zombie thing, I was just like, you know what? Let's get away from the zombie thing, and I rewrote it, and then it morphed into what is now going to be 100 Acres of Hell 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I got one last question for you. Is 100 Acres of Hell is that how you met Stacy Toy, or did you guys know each other prior?
Well, it was very close to that because I met Stacy originally at the Weekend of Fear, is a convention I did for Dave Madison.
Okay.
Dave Madison, a great filmmaker. He's got some, I think, Wits End he's got out right now, and there's another project, a werewolf project that he just finished filming and he's waiting to come out. But he invited me to the Weekend of Fear in PA, and that's the first time I got introduced to Stacy. And then she was a big Clerks fan, so we kind of hit it off. And then one thing led to another. I think my buddy Jason Kerner came up, and we kind of hit it off. Everybody kind of hit it off, and she was looking to help in production or anything she could get her hands on, and that's how we kind of got involved with Stacy. And then through the years, me and Stacy have become really, really good friends, and are involved in a bunch of big projects right now that we're trying to get off the ground. We got one with that Paramount is waiting for the script for, which is a great concept. It's her life story, and it's very deep and dark and uplifting and emotional. I mean, it is one of those films that's just like, there's no way that this could have happened, and there's no way that this girl could have been through this and done what she has done. And I can't get into all the ins and outs of her life, because that's not for me to do.
She's been on the podcast. She's a friend.
Yeah,
so I know that it's very inspiring.
Right. So I'm a part of that film, me and her, which is going to be called Buda Vista Highway. and that's a really, really big thing that we're trying to, we're in the process right now of having the script written. So once we get that done, then we're going to move forward and bring that to the world. And that's really something I'm really, really excited for, and especially for her, because her story needs to be told. And stories like that of hers need to be told. It's just, it's very uplifting. It cuts you in so many different ways during the film, but at the end result, it shows what is really in humanity and how they can, forgive. And the ultimate goal is just to love people and to love everybody, which is unfortunately kind of tough to find nowadays.
Absolutely. We met Stacy about 8 months ago, and she's been so supportive of us. And she set up this interview for us, so I'm super. Yeah,
she's a great lady, and we've had the opportunity to go to the Grammys 4 times together, and she knows my wife really well. Most people would be like, they were like, "Hey, what do you mean you're going to the Grammys without your wife? You're going with this other chick and this and that and the other thing." And I'm like, she's a work partner. I mean, we do projects together. And I invited my wife to the Grammys with Stacy the first time we went, but my wife couldn't make it because of work. So she's like, "You just go." I mean, I have the coolest wife in the world. Trust me. I mean, she's the greatest. So every year the tickets got harder and harder to get. So at the first year we had 4, then it went back down to 2 and 2. So it's tough. I mean, but she's a great person. I mean, I look forward to having a lot of projects with her. Yeah. And she's doing that fandom thing now, which is great. I don't know if you guys saw that, the fandom with I think the last person they had was Ice-T, and Coco was the last one I saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been promoting the CBD brand that she's been helping
put
out there. Yeah.
I tried. She approached me about that because we all know Kev's a big pothead. So she said, "Hey, what do you think about Kev?" And I said, "Listen, I'll run it by him, but he's already got his hands knee deep in that. He's got his own line, his own strain, his own this. For him to switch midstream is kind of not a smart move. But with that said, I still did tell him about it. So if his goes to the wayside, we always, I'll definitely bring Stacy into the loop. Anything I can do to help her or just to help a friend to move forward, I'm all about it."
Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully I get to meet you in Jersey in a month. That'd be a lot of fun. But where can everybody find you online?
Well, the easiest place to find me is Facebook. Kevin has told me to get onto Instagram, which I have, but I am I'm on Instagram as ODBlue7, but I have the hardest time navigating Instagram. I don't know what it is. Facebook.
Join the club.
Right?
Join the club.
Facebook seems so easy to me. Instagram is very difficult. I mean, my nephews think I'm an idiot.
I had to have my daughter teach me how to use Instagram, so I understand.
It's just like, come on, man, really? I don't know how to put all the strange things. I don't even know how to. I'm trying to upload something. I'm like, did I upload it? Did I not upload it? I mean, it's like, I'm bad. I'm bad, dude. I need a class. I think I got to get my man Ming Chen to help me out with that. You guys.
I joined everybody's been telling the podcast that we need to get on TikTok, and I signed up for TikTok for the podcast. I felt like a pervert being on there for like 2 minutes. It is not for grown men. That's
no. I am staying away from TikTok.
I am too. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter too. I think it's O'Donnell7 on Twitter, and I post a little bit on Twitter too, but not that much. I mean, Facebook just seems so simple to me.
It is,
so that's where I kind of live a lot, and a lot of fans reach out to me through that and through Instant Messenger, and it's been working out really well. And I mean, it's amazing what social media does. It's just how it puts all of us together. I mean, it's insane. It really is. So, but that's how you guys pretty much. I mean, you guys got me through Stacy, right?
Yeah, she put us in a group chat together, and then I messaged you privately after that.
So how did you get to Stacy?
We used to have a.
Don't mention it. Don't mention
What?
it.
I'm not going to mention the names, but we used to have a PR person that we both used to work with,
okay.
And now we
You
no
don't have to
longer
go
work.
any further. I know the story. You don't have to go any further. We'll keep it right there.
We'll talk after the broadcast. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out on all the usual spots. Thank you again, Ernie. Have a great day.